This is Ronan here. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the aftermath of the Vela buff, nerf, readjustment, however you want to call it. So I've been running some numbers today. I've had a little bit of time. I've been running obviously based on our wars and stats, and I've been looking at one of our sister alliances too, just to sort of see if I can see any sort of big difference regarding Vela. Is she still the best blue flank in the game? I don't know. I would say no. I don't think she's the best. I think what you have now is you have options. I think you have choices. I don't think a costume Magni or even a Lepus, Master Lepus, would be a bad choice as a flank. I mean, both hit very hard. Obviously, costume Magni has a defense down. But Vela is still good. One thing I can confirm is, yes, her numbers have gone down. But that is to be expected. That was the whole point of SG making this adjustment, is they wanted to remove the power element of Vela and make her viable, but at the same time make her not as strong as she was. And let's be honest, she was strong. She completely destroyed any reds you go in with. And that was a big issue, having Telluria as the green tank. I think that was the majority of the issue, as in Y Wars was so hard. So that has gone. So yes, I have noticed war numbers going up, certain individuals using the same sort of teams having a little bit more consistency with their numbers going up. But like I said, I still think the numbers haven't gone up dramatically enough to say, hey, remove her, strip her, find someone else. I just do think you have options. I think it's a personal choice. I think it's something, if you want to give someone else emblems to make room, and you have a better, not a better option, but you have another option like a costume Magni, then by all means I think that isn't the worst choice. I've been testing costume Magni, and I've even tested a few Master Lepuses, and their numbers are still pretty good. So you've also got to remember and then what I did do is look back at the numbers back in the day when Ursina and Guinevere were the popular tanks. And at the moment, the numbers are so low, I think we're forgetting what it was before. So 7k was very doable with a Guinevere and an Ursina tank, whereas 7k nowadays is just highly unlikely. And with the old Vela, it was nigh on impossible. It's still very hard now with the newer Vela. We've had, now like I said, I'm only talking on Wolves. I can't talk for anyone else. But as of yet, I haven't seen anyone still hit a 7k. I have seen a 6.7k, which is the highest I've seen, and that was from Aggressive 2. And prior to that, the highest was 6.4k. So, that's a big jump, and, that's pretty much 6 1-hits of a jump. So not a great jump, 6 1-hits is still... I'm still not seeing many 300s. I'm still seeing a lot of 250s. Now, that just could be Wolves' way of teamwork. We do like to not be greedy and leave 6 messes on the board. We do like to share that teamwork. However, at the same time, I always encourage members, if they are 5 for 5 and they do have a viable enough strong option, to go for it. So, and we have had 300s. Let's get that. We've had plenty of 300s. We just haven't, so it's hard to basically judge on that. So I guess in conclusion, the question is, in the current meta, is Vela still viable as a flank? The answer to that is yes, she is. She is still viable, and one of the main reasons is because of her ability to reduce the damage reduction of your team. Let's just have a look at her. So this part here, all enemies get minus 34% attack for 3 turns. This is still pretty huge. Imagine a red tank with a Zelene flank. So would Zelene be viable? You answer that question. Zelene's fast. She does the same. Now, I don't have Zelene, unfortunately. I would love to have a Zelene, but I don't. But would Zelene be viable? Yes, she would. You would see a lot of Zelene flanks, and that is because of this. All enemies get minus 34% attack. It's huge. Let me just see if I can find a Zelene. No, I don't think anyone's running. No, it doesn't matter. But still, that's one of the main reasons Zelene is so scary, is because she's fast and she's gonna cripple you. So, as far as offense goes, she's still good because you could still cripple the opponent. Now, I've had some really serious faults, and I was one to really critique the nerf, and I put my hands up. And I'm actually now, after a bit of time, I'm actually going to apologise to SG for overreacting, and admit that she is actually pretty balanced. However, I would still like to see a little bit more respect in her damage. I think definitely you could do a little bit better, maybe 277 over 3 turns. I mean, that's pretty much 100 a tick. I think this water damage is sort of pathetic. Or maybe 150% damage. I don't know. I definitely think this could still get a little bit of love to make Vela somewhat the Vela of old. And the reason I say that is because of the money spent, to get her. You still got to respect that. SG, you released an overpowered hero. You still got to give people what the community has gone out and spent. The amount of iron, ham, emblems, purchase of emblems just to put on her, anything like that. So you still got to make her strong, like not overpowered, but you still definitely need to make her stronger. Now, at the moment, the only thing she's got going for her is this minus 34%. You remove that, then yes, she does hardly any damage. Her water damage is pathetic. Her elemental link is good, but not crucial, not vital. So let's just get that straight. But, like I said, she is still viable as a flank. She is still strong. She's just not going to destroy you like the other Vela. She's just not going to make your life miserable to the point where you quit the game, you leave an alliance midway through a war. That element has been removed from Vela, and rightly so. Let's be honest, a lot of people overreacted with Tellurian and Vela, and yes, SG, you've got to put your hands up. You did sort of put the meta from here to up here, and it did screw up a lot of players. But however, moving forward, she's still viable in offense, she's still viable in defense, and purely because of the minus 34%. It's annoying. So the next question is, how do we deal with that? Well, the same way you should already be dealing with Tellurian. Cleanse, the same sort of players that you should have been using, you should continue to use. So let's look at, Rigard. Dispel status alignments from all allies. So Rigard should be featured. Grizzle. All allies are immune to new status effects. Even people like Boltusk work because they turn that 34% minus into plus 48%. So he doesn't cleanse, but what he does is he heals, and then he gives that boost of the other direction. Yes, you'll still have the water damage, but it's so low, it's not gonna, you're not gonna worry about it. It's gonna tickle you. What you want to get rid of is the minus 34% damage. Who else? You know, you've got people like even, you know, likes of Catelyn and her luck of dodge. You know, if she dodges, you know, so it's the same. Demetra costume, you know, dispels status alignments. You know, this is the stuff you've got to be looking for. And in your one-hit teams, this is what you need. You know, the simple fact is you need it to win. Otherwise, you're going to struggle, or you're relying on a good board. It's that simple, really. You know, there's plenty of other options and risks. Malosi's another good one. You know, he has the target. I'll get it out in a minute. Cannot cast any new status effects. You know, but the problem with Melosi is he only hits one, and normally that one would be Telluria. So unless you run with like a double Melosi and you stop Vela and Telluria, but you know, is that a waste of darts? Is that even a waste of two Melosis in one team? I mean, you make your mind up. It's what works for you. Personally, I don't think it's a waste if it works. You know, if you can fit that in, you know, fair enough. But let's just say you've got, you know, two Grizzles and two Max Rigards and two Aerials. Do you need to go overpowered on Melosi? Probably not. So it really depends on your situation. I can't guide you in any which way or form based on that, because it really depends on what you got. So, you know, I think that's where we're at. I think the only thing, if SG was gonna rebuff her, I think they should just do a little slight increase in damage. And not much. I don't think it needs to go into the whole business of beta and testing and stuff. I think you're just looking at a really small increase in both, you know, and I'm talking small, you know, I'm really am. I don't think the community would really mind if we talked about, say, 277 water damage over 3 turns, and maybe even just something like 140% or 150%, no more than 150. You know, I still think she would be, you know, I don't think she would be overpowered. I think you could still use reds. You still got ways of protecting yourself against her. So yeah, definitely. So yeah, that really is sort of the end of this video, because there's not really much more to say. You know, I think the questions are there. Is she, you know, is she viable? Yes. Is she as strong? No. She is still eating flags. She is still highly effective. There is other options though. You know, let's just look at some of the options that I might have. You know, I've got Scatty. She's just not a defensive hero. I'm not even going to grade her in defense. She's just not a defensive hero. Why? She relies on minions. So if you take a team with no minions, Scatty really isn't going to do much to hurt you. So would I put Scatty in defense? No. Would I even grade her? Why would I bother? She's not a defensive hero. Not even going to fuck around with a grading. She doesn't belong there. If Scatty is your only 5-star blue, fair enough, stick her in, but you're going to look to want to replace her. Aerial. Aerial is viable, but do you really want to put a healer in a meta where it's all about the damage? Aerial is average. She has, she has a nice heal, she has a nice cleanse, and then the beauty with her is she has that 24% mana regen. So yes, Aerial is viable. She would work on the flank, she would work on the wing. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. I think there is definitely better options out there, but she would work, she is viable, and to some extent she would eat flags. Fenrir, you know, Fenrir is definitely a viable option on the wing only. Ideally, I wouldn't. Again, he's too much of a niche hero. Like he's successful only going after you know, targets that he should be going after. So I would definitely not recommend. If you have him and it's your only option, then wing would be the best place. Sort of same with Perseus. I'm not even going to go there. Lepus, however, I do think is viable. Magni costume and Magni non-costume I think is viable. You know, a lot of people forget the non-Magni still has, now not based on these stats, I'm talking once he's costumed. So, you know, that's that 63% defense, you know, protecting a Tellurian for starters. I mean, that gives her an insane amount of defense. And then also protecting whoever's on your wing, Magni is an option, but only once you have the costume and you have the emblems, because his defense is pathetic. So like it is right now, not going to work. He's going to drop like a fly. Same with Lepus, going to drop like a fly. So definitely if you're going to go the Lepus route, you need to focus on armor and health. He really hits hard as it is. He doesn't need to hit any harder. So he is an option. He's definitely risky because of the minus 20% with the already low percent in defense. Other options, Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, no, let's not go there. Richard, yes. Richard would be a yes if you had, again, costume. And then obviously you'd want the costume Rigard. The costume Richard. He hits hard with the costume and emblems. His defense stats definitely would work. Not obviously based on my card, but you know. So yeah, there is options. There isn't many great options though as flank. You've got Missandra. You know, you've got Alice, but see, these are great wings, people that would work well on the wing. So, you know, for me, as far as, you know, your options in the blue department, you are limited, and Vela still has a home there, for sure. You know, like I said, unless, for me, the only one that really I would consider swapping out would probably be Costume Magni, but I don't have him, so for the time being, I'm going to stick with Vela, or, you know, if any of the new heroes coming out would be viable. Or if I'm just completely missing someone that I haven't pulled. You know, I can only really go off what I see. Let's see some of the ones I haven't leveled that are just sort of sitting there. You know, Raphael, definitely a no. Frida, Mickey is a no. Cernia really is a no. Fawn, you know, Fawn costume coming out could be a viable option in the future, but only until we see that costume and what it does. So right now it would be a definite no. And that's about it. So, you know, Vela is still top 3, definitely. As far as blue flanks, I would be very confident in saying that. I would be very confident in putting her in the top 3 as it stands. Seeing the last few wars, I'm not seeing much change in Vela. I am seeing change, but I'm still seeing a hell of a Velas out there. I personally am quite liking the new Vela because I can deal with her pretty comfortably, purely because I built my teams around Tellurian. And basically, if it works for Tellurian, it works for Vela, it works for Grademaker. So that combo really doesn't scare me anymore, because I've built my teams basically to conquer that. And so is a lot of others. That's why we're seeing bigger numbers as well. I think people are finally catching up. The meta is no longer as scary. Definitely options out there. And for sure, looking at the upcoming options in the future, you've got the Halloween event that will have definitely some good counters for Tellurian. You've got Hero of the Months. You've got Season 3, all with good options. So definitely the future is looking bright. The meta is definitely getting better. But the conclusion is Vela is still viable. She is still top 3, in my opinion, in defense. Obviously, in offense is a different story. It's how you would use her. She is still viable in offense. If you use lean, you'd use Vela the same way. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I look forward to any comments, feedbacks, arguments you've got for me. Best of luck. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, guys.